morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. Morning for me. It's a hot day here. I'm going to be sweating it out in here today. Normally I'd open my back door and let a breeze run through, but that'll be a bit noisy. Just get some stuff set up and we'll be ready to go. I'll put some quiet background music on while I do this. Let me know how the voice levels are, everyone. Sound good? Right, I'm going to presume we're good. Okay, let's just carry in. I'm just going to click play and I'm going to talk about what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be answering some questions, so any questions, pop them in the chat and I'll try to catch as many as I can, but if I miss your question because I'm coding, I apologize. What else was I thinking? Yeah, and we're going to be going over some of the stuff you haven't seen yet. This will be the survival stuff. And what I've been working on is blocks when they get dropped on the floor. And I'll show you what the issue with blocks that are dropped on the floor at the minute is. That's what we're going to try and remedy today. Right, so we're in our world. Oh, I've already seen one problem. The animation's wrong on the arm. It is in a weird place. Is it just the aspect? Let's just fix that to see. No. It's interesting because that was fine earlier, so that lets me think there's something wrong set up for this scene. Is it the same with everything? Well, blocks are in the right place. Arms are wrong. Interesting. Right, before I carry on, I'm going to see if I can fix that quickly. Music's a little high. Okay. I'll turn that down. Is that better? And then let's see what's wrong with the player. Has he got an override? Yes, he does. Right, that should be good. Why has this got an override? I think that's fine. It should only be the player controller that's overrided. Because that has a scene length that it needs. Try again. Okay, let's see I'm not missing stuff in chat. Need my chat in a better place. That can go there. That can go. So if someone here's at the top of the first question I can see, why does the snow look like mud and also sound like mud? Well, the reason being is a lot of these textures were made like right at the start, just so we've got something to work with. So Sean, who's our artist now, hasn't actually gone through most of these textures. They will be getting updated. And then why does it sound like mud? Well, we just added some sounds. There's not a lot of thought that's gone into sounds. It's just, do sounds work is kind of the question at the minute, rather than do sounds sound good. Does stuff become good is like a later problem. We're mainly worried about mechanics of stuff, like changing textures, changing sounds, all that kind of stuff's like really easy to remedy later and improve upon. The hard bit is getting everything functional, which is the focus at the minute. Keep going down chat, see down that. Oh, do I need to boost my mic now? Is that good? Do another little sound check. I'll just turn this bit down a bit, and then that could be good. Okay, let's see if we've fixed that arm position. Nope. Okay. I'll look into that later. It's not important for just now. Are we under the ocean? Oh, we are. Oh, is that game? Oh. We added a new feature, which was like to change the game mode while you were in here through console. Let's remedy that too. Quickly. It's in our test world, but obviously not made it into here yet. So that will be under console. Game mode. It's a reference. Yeah, I really like how our console works. We can just like chuck, if you know Unity, like mono behavior scripts on, and then whatever the name of that script is becomes the console command. So it's really handy. It means it's really quick to add like console commands if we need them or stuff for deving. So I should be able to do game mode. Yep. Game mode 1. Now I can fly. Do time 12. Just set it to daytime. Make this bigger. Right. That's enough rambling. I'm going to go on to mute the background music while running. That's fair. That's fair. Or do I mute this one for now? Otherwise that might annoy us anyway. Let's mute this one for now. Just so then I don't have to deal with muting and unmuting. Any more questions? Yeah, so someone's saying, I'm also guessing the new player model hasn't been imported yet since the editor still shows the old one. It's technically in, but yes, the prefab hasn't been updated with the new animations. The reason is, yeah, we just need to relink stuff and do animations, and it hasn't been priority because you're in first person most of the time. We've actually only just put in the first person animations that you're seeing. Oh, I've got another bug already. Is it just grass doing that? Oh, we're in creative, that's why. And that's bugged too. Isn't it lovely just like going in and then you go through all your bugs? Okay, so we're getting blocks and they're going into our inventory. That's good. And we also have this test inventory here. This can be any size. But what happens now is if you chuck the blocks on the floor, hey, they're on the floor and they've got physics. Now, if you played in the playtest, you'll know that there is a way to bug yourself through the floor. I think if you like spam plates, there we go. We're through the floor. Can I get? I didn't have enough blocks to completely glitch myself through. Let's see if I completely glitch myself through. And that's another bug. Oh, no, I didn't manage. Anyway, you get the idea. You can fire yourself through the floor. And that's because the player's using like mesh collisions. So the world's made out of mesh for rendering anyway, but the minute it's been shared for collision data, and that's bad. So I want to make it different for blocks that are dropped on the floor. So you'll see this block here. If I place blocks on, it then gets pushed up through the floor, and that's because it's now looking at the voxel data. It's not looking at the mesh data, which means you can't get stuff like blocks falling through the map and all that kind of stuff. And eventually the player is going to use this same system. So if you somehow manage to glitch yourself through a block for whatever reason, you'll just get pushed straight back out and you won't like fall through to the bottom of the world. All right, let's just check questions. I feel like I talked about a lot. When will the first player test of 2025 be? We have probably the easiest way to answer that is what features do we want to be in when the player test happens. So there's the feature that I'm going to be doing today, which is I want to be able to use for players to pick up blocks that are on the floor, not in. We need to make the inventory slightly better. We need crafting, which is close. We're not going to have the games crafting, if that makes doesn't make sense. We're going to have like a version of crafting that's for the first playtest that's easy to implement, but won't be what crafting's like in the or not what crafting's planned to be like for the game. What else do we need? We need to. There's a bunch of like fixed tasks. Yeah. Oh, and the big ones, getting mobs. We need some mobs in. So you've got stuff to fight in combat and that kind of stuff, and a bunch of crafting recipes. We're actually not too far away from a lot of that stuff, so I'm hoping we're thinking like a couple of months, hopefully. I'll let's say April for now, but that date will move depending if it's not ready, because we don't want to be putting it out if it's not ready, because then it'll just be a bad experience for everyone playing, and then we won't get the feedback that we need, because, you know, we don't need feedback for bugs that we already know are there, if you know what I mean, because we just haven't got around to fixing them. Like, hey, if you do this, it's broken. It's like, yeah, we know. Okay. Someone said, I suggest using a flat texture on screen displaying a 3D animation for the hand/tool so the hand doesn't clip into blocks and cause unsightly immersion break. You can't clip your hand into a block. It's impossible. And even if it is clipping, so I think geometrically the block is clipping through. Let's make it. Well, geometrically, I think that block is clipping through now, but it doesn't look like it's clipping through. And all first-person games do this, but what you do is you render the player's like first-person view after you render the world view. So the world renders first, and then the player's camera renders, and that's rendered on top of this. So that guarantees that it's always rendered on top of the world, and it'll never clip through. It does mean, like, you may have noticed this in like some particularly first-person shooters. Imagine you're here. Oh, it's hard. I need a slab, and I'm not in creative. But imagine I'm like at the lip. Yeah, here, and I was like trying to shoot someone. My cursor could be over, and the gun could look like it's over, but in like the third person's perspective, the gun is a bit lower, and then it'd be clipping through this block, and then your bullet like hits here, not where your cursor is. Yeah. And that's for games where the bullet actually comes out the gun instead of just coming straight out of your face. Some games get around this by just firing the bullet out of your face instead of out of the gun. Orob Dog says, you just have to do a collision test by placing it, and if it's colliding with the player, it doesn't spawn. Now that sounds so logical, and it makes so much sense. Here's the problem, though. Collisions with meshes only happen when you go through a boundary layer. So a collision only happens. So say you've got a, I don't know, say, imagine we've got a ball and we're firing it towards this face here. The ball's coming, and then it touches the face, and only at the point of contact can be detected. Then the ball will bounce in your physics engine and then start going the other way. If you spawn the ball so it's at the other side of this face, so it's inside the block, you can't detect the collision because it's on the inside and there's nothing on the inside. That's why we need to change to this voxel physics system, because then we won't have this problem with meshes. Like I say, meshes only exist as the planes, whereas voxels have the volume. So then we'll be able to do like overlap tests, and that's exactly how these blocks get shoved out. Is they're checking to see if they're inside a voxel, and then they get pushed out. Now we might do it so they get pushed out to the closest edge. At the minute, it doesn't do that; it just pushes them up vertically, rather than to the closest edge. But you'll see when we drop them, it'll bounce off this. So if I get some blocks to throw, it'll bounce off this wall in theory. Or it actually won't bounce off. We've got no bounces yet. It'll just hit it, go to 0 momentum, and then fall down. Oh, I forgot. I added it so it comes out the screen where your cursor is. So it went off to the side. Okay, take 2. I have to look this way a bit if I'm going to fire it here. So this should bounce off this. There we go. And it has gone halfway in because we're treating them as points currently, not as little spheres. All right. Let's catch up with where chat's at. Henrique says, can I give a suggestion for the graphics? I know this isn't the priority at the moment, but I have noticed that the sky is really dark during daytime. It should be really blue and bright at noon. Yes. So the sky is, if you've watched some of the devlogs, you'll know it's a volumetric calculation. So we're not directly controlling it. It's like physics. And because these planets are much smaller than a real planet, the atmosphere is a lot taller than it is wide, and that means we have a hard time rendering it like a real atmosphere. So we have to cheat a lot of variables basically, and it means that the atmosphere doesn't look right. So I think it was Paul. Yeah, it was Paulevs gave the suggestion on Discord to, instead of this complex volumetric calculation, which actually is the main slowdown for your computer's frame rate at the minute, is the sky, is to instead fake it by putting like planes up around the player at the horizon and then rendering the sky on that effectively. And that's what we're going to swap to. It'll give us much more control over the color of the sky. We'll be able to do weird skies. It's just better all around. It's a much better way to fake it. It does mean we won't get atmospheric fog like by default, but our atmospheric fog was terrible anyway. And we also have this rendering issue here with water. That's a depth buffer issue, but we'll get around to it. But you are right, the sky isn't great. Will that be on for the survival playtest? Probably not, but it will be for the next one. Let's see where we're getting into in chat. Someone say, so this is what we're doing today. Is picking and dropping items not implemented yet, or do you have to click on the drop items to pick them up? That is what I'm trying to do now. So what we're going to do now, in fact, let's get on with it, and then I'll get back to some more questions. Actually, I'll answer a bunch now, then we'll get on with that. Since there'll be space exploration, do you have plans to add gas giants planets later on? Yes, we have plans for basically all the planet types that we know of, like, that are in our solar system. Plus, we're going to add crazy stuff. I think there've been ideas for like inverted planets, all that kind of thing. Yeah, who knows? We might even add a donut planet. I actually don't think we'll add a donut planet, but maybe that'd be funny. But yeah, there'll be unrealistic planets as well as like gas giants and stuff. I'm not sure how we deal with gas giants, because you can't land on the surface, but maybe they have moons that you're landing on. Maybe you can go into the atmosphere with your spaceship and like have those low-lying space stations that are inside a gas giant. That would be cool. Will you be adding villagers? Unsure. Yeah, villagers is an interesting one. Maybe. That design of the game hasn't been 100% decided yet. Maybe there are on this planet. Maybe there are on some other planets. Maybe it works a bit differently. Because the kind of like the story that's not like hard forced or hard set yet is more like you're a lone survivor rather than you're on a planet full of people. It'll be full of life, the planet, but there shouldn't be any more of you on the planet. Or if you're playing in a multiplayer environment, it'd be like you and your friends are the survivors. Are you going to make the center of the planet damage players from heat? Yes. So I think we'll probably add bedrock layers on most planets that stop you from digging too deep. But below that, we'll just have lava that kills the player, kind of like the void. Looks like items don't have interpolations. Yeah, that's correct, Paulevs. They're on the tick system. You can actually see when you drop them. They move quite jerkily. That is another on the to-do list. Because the positions can update like that. That's fine. But you're right. They need to be interpolated when they're being rendered. That's on the coming later list. That I'll probably not. We're definitely not addressing that today, and it won't be fixed for the next playtest. No pentagons needed for a donut planet. That's right. That'd be cool. Okay, right. So let's get on with it. I need to make it now. So when you drop this item, I can now run over and it goes back into the player's inventory. We also need to make it so if that was a stack of 7 and this one is a stack of... Oh, that wasn't near it. Oh, that's another thing. We're not going to do that one today, but blocks should break. Like this grass should break when the block below it's broken. You might think, oh, hey, that used to happen when I played the last playtest. You're right. It still happens in Create. It's the way we've changed like mining blocks has effectively broken that, and there was no like block update. There's block updates, but there wasn't the type of block update that would fix this. The way it used to happen in creative mode is I just hard coded it. So if you dug a block where it had like an attachable block above it, it worked it out then. But we now need to work it out properly. Anyway, back to my point. So if I put this here and if I drop another block here, these two should merge. So we also want to do that. If that should be a stack of 3, a stack of 7, and they should merge into a stack of 10. All right, let's get going. So, where are we? Dropped object system. So yes, so a brief overview of roughly how this all works. These are all the systems that run inside the game tech. These are kind of separate to the Unity scene. These are all entity systems. And this is how all the logic of the game happens, which means that the frame rate that you're seeing on your screen is different and separate from how the world updates. And these are all happening on multiple threads on your computer. They're not just happening on your main thread. So we need to write stuff in a special way. Now, one way we could do it is have each of those blocks that we've dropped on the floor in the world, they could check to see if a player's nearby, and if the player's nearby, then go into their inventory. Or if they're near another block, then they could combine together. That's a bad idea, though, because that would really affect frame rate. If you dropped a ton down, it would crater your frame rate. So instead, we're going to do it multi-threaded inside a system. And now I just need to work out how this is all going to work. So let's create this. Let's think how we have to work. So what do we need? I'm going to just write it in comments here. So we need to know players world position, and we need actually we want to know a few things. Let's do players chunk position. And then we need players world position. We also want the all objects list. And we want objects chunk position. And actually, we don't want the chunk position. I think we want their block position. We'll compare block positions. That makes much more sense. And then we also want the objects world position. Now I'm just thinking, is it quicker to just do world positions, or is it quicker to discard quickly with block position checks first? Because we could do like one check, which just checks to see if the block positions are close enough to the player. And then if they are, we then do world. That's got to be faster. Let me think. Is that faster? Probably. Let's go with that. Someone said, the villagers can add life and make the world feel more interactive. That's why Minecraft sometimes feels empty and dead. That's true. That is true. I mean, one way to do it would be we have stuff that's not like the player that acts like a village. You know, so it's meant to be like a different species or something. So someone's saying, I think villagers are good for Minecraft, but PlanetSmith is different. Better off without them. Can't really put my finger on why. Yeah, we'll have to see where the game takes us with survival. There's going to be a lot of feel for survival, and there's always the options to change. Who knows? We might get to 1.0, no villagers, and then we have like a villagers update in like 1.2. Will there be moving blocks like pistons? Probably. Um, yeah, villagers should have different levels of tech too. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so let's get going with this script. I'm gonna have to remind myself which type of job I want. So let's make ourselves a new script. Oh yeah, what else do we need? I feel like I'm missing something. Okay, let's make the new script first, and then I'll carry on. I want jobs. Here we go. There should be already one. What did I call this? Oh, there's nothing here. So this one should be called dropped objects. And we'll make ourselves a new script. Oh yeah, I upgraded to Unity 6 the other day, and then it's always trolling. They've changed like where stuff is. You have to go now to scripting, and then oh, this is interesting. That's new. Mono behavior, empty C# script. That's new. That looks nice. Let's try this. So we're gonna call this one. Oh, we can rename it later. I'm gonna for now. Let's call it object pickup job. Let's put it in ECS. Oh, what did I call this? I called it. Oh, dropped objects. So let's copy across what we were thinking. So it'll be. Do they have to be struct? Like cooked. Yeah, let's do what I always do. Find a job that I like. Yeah, they want to be structs, and we want to have the burst compile tag. We don't want. I think we want iJob chunk. Let's see. Let's get our missing references. And it wants to be type iJob chunk, and then we'll generate our members. Okay. And then, so we'll need our read only. We'll need public. Int for player location. Someone said, the worst part about villages in Minecraft is by far trading. No reason to explore and progress when they have everything you need. But as for me, there would just be cute frogs with little houses. Yeah, that's an interesting point. It would be nice if, from like a design perspective, they made it so maybe there's some things that you have to trade with for villagers, and then other, like it, but it was very limited. That'd be cool. Or what if it was services you needed from them, like they were needed for crafting certain things? That could be interesting, maybe. And I'm not sure. Someone saying, need to be different kinds of intelligent NPCs to make it not feel flat, like individual hunters explorers that spawn anywhere, small trading outposts with only a few NPCs, and populated villages. Yeah. So it's like, how dynamic will planets be? How different will blocks and textures and animals be? So yeah, different. So there's the Earth-like planet, which is the one we're focused on just now. Once that one's complete, we'll then be making, the other worlds. And I'm thinking of them in the same way as you think of Minecraft dimensions. So there's a reason you have to go to them. Of course, they're all procedural generation, but they're not random in the sense that it's always that flavor. So, we'll have our Earth-like flavor, and then we'll have maybe the next one's like an ice world. And then it wouldn't be a barren ice world. It'd be full of, there'll be mobs, there'd be, um, plant, would you have ice plants or something? It's not going to be realistic. It's going to be what's interesting for making like effectively a Minecraft dimension out of in the ways that it functions from a gameplay perspective. And then each planet has its own reason to go there to get stuff and be full of life and stuff to do. Because if we made it realistically and every single other planet other than Earth was like this barren rock or various different, colors of rock, it'd be pretty boring. Okay, so we need a. Oh, we don't we. Oh yeah, we'll need. Player position. Okay, so we need those two. And then what's it called? It's called public. What's it? Oh, I'm gonna have to look up another one. I've forgotten what the class is called. It won't be in there. It will be in. That's an I job. No, it's not in there. No. That's the one we just did. Is it? Update. That's it. Component type handle. Tell I haven't written a job in a few days. Oh, it's probably been before Christmas the last time I wrote a job, and I haven't been writing iJob chunks. Public control, and we want. What do they have on them? Drop down. So what components do we have? We have a world position component. Dropped object component types. So we have a dropped object. Voxel position component, which I think is what we want. Yes. So this tells you exactly where it is in the world. Voxel position component handle. I spelled that wrong. Classic me. Oh, someone's right. Let's have a look at that. Stumble parallel. Also, better tools which can break more blocks in specific ways would be great for terraforming. Yes, that's planned. If you have played Tinker's Construct in Minecraft, I am planning features that are on those tools for our tools, like you can break a 3x3 area, that kind of stuff. Someone said, how about traveling between planets, just teleporting or driving yourself? Maybe just having a waiting period. So the ultimate goal is it for the solar system to feel a bit like if you ever played the game Outer Wilds. You have a little spaceship, you can blast off, and you fly between the worlds and you land wherever you want. But we're going to have ways that the solar system's effectively gated, which causes you having to go to other planets first. And some of the reasons you might have to go to other planets first would be, oh, there's a force field around this planet for X reason, and you need to disable it from else. Or maybe that planet is really hot, so your spaceship can't, it just burns up as soon as you go in, and you need like to protect it. Or maybe it's really cold and the player can't get out. You'll just die because you need some sort of stuff to protect you because it's so cold. Or we're basically going to gate it that way, that sure, you can fly everywhere in the solar system once you get your spaceship, but you have to get the upgrades to be able to explore those worlds. Now, saying that, the first like early access versions probably won't have a flying spaceship. It'll probably build your spaceship and then we'll do something similar to what's the game? The Bethesda one. Stars. No, it's not Star Citizen. I forgot what their game's called. Anyway, there's Space One, where you're flying. You don't really fly your spaceship. It's a cutscene, and you go between worlds that way. Maybe we do it like Mass Effect, where it's a 2D map, just somewhere that's a bit halfway, so we don't have to worry about dealing with planets in space just yet, because that's its own complex problem in itself. Is the spaceship going to be an entity or player built? So, again, this will be in stages. I think the first version will be basically an entity. You'll have zero choice on how your spaceship looks. But saying that, what I want to add is effectively there'll be a place that's kind of like a spaceship factory that you have to get working again. And inside that, there'll be like effectively it'll have its own grid. And then inside that grid, you can put in spaceship blocks. It'll be like a builder. It'll be separate from like building in the world, but it'll have its own grid and you'll be able to build in there. It'll probably be it's like its own thing that pops up and it'll let you build your spaceship with the spaceship blocks kind of thing. And then you'd have your custom spaceship, which you can fly about everywhere. That's the ultimate goal. Starfield, that was the name. That was it. Yeah. Oh, my webcam needs refocused. Hold on. Work better. Oh, it's really gone, hasn't it? What is happening? Wakey, wakey. Well, let's try the good old turning it off and on again, if I can. Do I just love tech sometimes? Where's its focus point? Is it focused back here? No, that's even worse. Where is its focus point? It's focused like really close to the camera, like. What is going on? I might have to unplug it. Technical difficulties. Don't. Right in the back of my computer. Let's see if it comes back to life. Right. How's that? We better? I think that's better. It's hard to tell. It's really small on my screen. Oh, also, did you see my comment about the planets crashing into each other, like realistic orbits? And also, will there be a moon to the planet you start on? Yes, there will be a moon. Planets won't be able to crash though. They will be on kind of like Outer Wilds, where the planets aren't part of the physics simulation. They're on fixed rails. Now, sure, they have gravity that is part of the physics simulation, but the planets themselves can't affect each other. That gets too complex, far too easy. And then how do I even deal with a planet crashing into another planet? The only thing that's going to happen if a planet crashes into another planet is your computer will crash, and then you'll have to imagine the planet's crashing. Will the world's nature and geology rely on variables such as distance from the host star sun? Yes. Will which will affect its appearance? More extreme seasons depending on things like orbit, etc. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be quite cool to have some planets that are on really eccentric orbits. That would be fun, I feel. The other type of planets that are kind of fun are tidally locked planets that are tidally locked to the sun. That means that the same side of the planet always points towards the sun. So you kind of like have one side of the planet that's like extremely hot, like hundreds of degrees Celsius, and then one side that's extremely cold, like getting close to absolute zero. We're talking like negative 200, well, negative 250 Celsius kind of cold. And then you have this like band around the planet where it's like the Goldilocks region around that planet where it's not too hot, not too cold, the Goldilocks region. Yeah, I think that's really fun as well. What about the feature to discover the planets with a telescope? That could be interesting. Like you have to map them somehow first in order to be able to navigate to them. Yeah, kind of. The problem is the way so obviously like if you have a solar system like the scale of our solar system, planets are tiny, tiny dots in the distance. Whereas I'm still more thinking like the outer wild solar system where everything's scaled right down. Um, Planets are really close to each other. Um, just because I feel that's more fun to play with. I don't want players jumping in their spaceship and going, right, guess we wait. Guess best we not mess up our transfer orbit or we're going to miss the planet, It's not going to be that type of game where you've got to, work out your perigee and all that stuff. Are you going to make the world dynamic like planet growth and erosion? Not in the current plan. It seems on the surface probably too complex, but I won't rule it out and say it's impossible. It would be cool. Someone's saying, yeah, I think they're talking about tidally locked planets now. They're not good for Earth life because daylight cycles, but they're actually cool for a game. Yeah, I agree. And I think you could. I've always wanted to do a tidally locked planet that has like, forget the physics of whether it's possible or not. You have these like civilization that exists in the twilight zone, effectively, just at that point between day and night, where the temperature is good on the surface, and then you like have really bad creatures that are out on the dark side of the planet, and you have to go out and exploring. Yeah, I think it'd be really fun. It'd be really hard to explore. And you kind of like locks your civilization onto a ring on that planet. It's kind of interesting. Okay, right, back to what I'm thinking. So we have our voxel position components. Right, and I wanted something for reference, didn't I? That one was terrible. Chunk open. Ah, here we go. Let's look at this one. Just remind myself what I need. Oh, and to get the native array, that's right. Okay. So let's start with that. Native array, yep. Native array type of voxel. Oh, voxel position component. Voxel. Call it that. Array equals. Is it not? Get array. Oh, chunk. That was it. Chunk dot get native array, and then we add in our title. Cool. That should be happy now, is it? Oh, you meant to pass that in as a reference, are you? There we go. And then you go through from C to. Okay. Let's call it C for the chunk, and to voxel position component array dot length C++. Chat is doing a good job at forcing the stream to be more Q&A than game dev. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen. Oh, and sideways planets like Uranus, where one pole is unbearably hot and the other is frozen. Yeah, that's cool. And you kind of spin. That'd be really weird. Yeah, what about asteroids or asteroid belts? So you have to avoid asteroids. Yes, definitely. And rings and stuff. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that'll be more space stuff. Asteroids, I think, will come in. I can't imagine we don't have a reason for mining asteroids at some point. So, and then I can get. I can just index that directly, can I? Because this isn't how it used to work. Yes, it is. So I can index them directly and then get the component out. So. Boom. So then we have our voxel position. And now we need to convert that. Then how, right, so we're detecting now whether it's close. So let's just. Oh, because we can't delete them at the minute. We need to like tell the player to pick them up. How are we going to tell the player to pick them up? So we'll need to process them linearly at some point, won't we? We could add it into a queue. No, because we need to remove them. So what I'm thinking at the minute is we have. I'm looking at everything in a chunk. This means that we're looking at multiple arrays of these because this will be running like on multiple different threads on your computer at the same time. And what we need to do is find which ones we want to remove, and then I think we then need to go through the ones that we've found to remove and actually remove them, because we can't remove them just now, because if you remove them just now, the computer has no way to like delete them because you're kind of like sharing memory. Oh, yeah. Oh. Not sure what that is. I'll have to call that back later. I'm getting distracted. Would ring worlds be possible in your engine, either planetary or stellar scale? Yes. Nothing stopping ring worlds. Could you build a Dyson sphere? If we gave the sun a grid, in theory, yes. Oh, I'm glad I didn't pick up that call. That was a salesman. Yeah, you saved me. You saved me. Thank you. I'd have picked that up normally. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the sun would need its own grid. Would we allow that? Yeah. I suppose why not? That'd be kind of cool, and then you could kind of it'd be like impractical, but I'm sure players would want to do it. You'd block off the sun. How would that work? You mentioned the donut-shaped planets in a short. Will those be in game? Probably. If so, games like Eco use donut-shaped planets, but make them look like they're a sphere. The problem with them is if you fly out in your spaceship, it then becomes really weird because like the way you like orbit the planet greatly determines like what you see of the planet. So it kind of doesn't make sense. So if we did add donut planets, I would actually render them as donuts rather than as trying to make them look like a sphere. Yeah, it's kind of because why it's so different to navigate on a donut to a sphere. So if you're on a sphere, and if you walk a quarter of so said head due north, walk quarter of the way around the planet, start on the equator. Sorry, it doesn't matter where you start actually. Doesn't matter. Just start somewhere, head in one direction for a quarter of a rotation of the planet, turn 90 degrees, then head another quarter of the planet, turn 90 degrees again, and head another around the planet another quarter, and you'll end up back exactly where you started if you did it precisely. So that means it's only 3 90-degree turns, and traveling in just straight lines will get you back to where you started. However, if you're on a donut and you do this, you don't end up back where you started. You end up the distance that you've traveled on each step away from where you've started. So it makes navigation really unintuitive and weird. Okay, right, carry on. So I'm thinking, so we have our voxel position. Let's do the comparison first and then worry about stuff like, let's do the very simplest comparison we can to do that. Let's see if they're the same. And if they are the same, then we'll say yay. I don't know. So we want to take the should I do them individually? So voxel position dot triangle. Hold on, I just want to check something. So we need the player component. Where is that? Oh, here we go. Player component types. Voxel. Oh wait, it has a voxel. They both have voxel position components. So we should just compare them directly then. We kind of want to convert it into... could just compare them directly. But like I said before, it doesn't guarantee you, whereas this one is really easy to check what your neighbors are. Okay. We're going to do it in this style. So how is it written? In here, when we write it. What's this never written to? Oh, it is? Look, got a nice little error here apparently if your game loads when paused. Oh, look at this. So the voxel position, we want it. No, we want here. Voxel position. Okay, so that is a true voxel position. That's all I want to check. So voxel position dot voxel dot x is not equal to player location dot x or voxel position dot voxel dot y is not equal to player location dot y or voxel position dot voxel dot z is not equal to player location dot z. Okay, then we continue. And then if it is the same, now I know this isn't going to work because we need to be able to check, like, you could be, say, just on the edge of a voxel, the player's location. The player's tall as well. But for now, we're going to pretend we're just going to look at it as voxels. And then once that works, we can then go back and refine it because we can just swap out these two lines here. So now, if it's at the same location, we now want to go, yay, well done, you found it. But then how are we going to do that? We need to flag it for pickup somehow. I think we just need a pickup flag on the thing. That's all we need. So easy. Easy, easy, easy. Someone's saying, I think, I've seen somebody answer someone else's question. Oh, how big can planets get without crashing? Currently, planets can only get to about 15 kilometer, I think, yeah, about 15 kilometer radius without the game crashing. So that's, I don't know, 1,000 plus square kilometers of surface area to explore. But I'll say this as a caveat. The reason it crashes is because at the minute, world gen happens on first load for the entire planet. Not the block generation, but the biome generation. And when it gets bigger than that, we're trying to create a file that's too large. So all we'd have to do to fix that would be to break it up into steps. So, you know, it loads a bit of the planet and then it would load another bit of the planet as you explore. And then that would be fine. The actual... So that's fixable. There is another issue, is that we're currently using floating points. Well, you have to in Unity use floating points for stuff that's actually rendered. And that means that if you get about 10,000 units or 10,000 meters away from the origin of the scene, stuff starts to get really crappy. You may, if you've ever played like early Minecraft alphas, you may remember that if you went too far away from 000, the player would start bouncing around and physics wouldn't work very well. Same reason. And blocks would look weird as well. Exact same reason. But we can fix this. The actual engine, or I say engine, the the planets, like the way that it all works is using doubles in the back end. It's then converted out to floats when we're rendering. So what we can do is instead of when the player moves, they move in the scene, the world moves around them. So we can like do the opposite. That way the player always remains near the origin and we don't get any of these floating point errors. And since it's all backed up in doubles, that'll just work. And that's where we get the size of Jupiter. That will then break down when we run out of chunks. And we will, I did the calculation, we'll run out of chunks because we run out of ints, basically. Int max. Yeah. Int max is our limiter then. Which means I think we're limited to, what's that? 2 billion chunks or whatever. Oh god. Yeah, I think it's like 2.5 billion. And that works out to be the size of Jupiter off the back of my back of the paper calculator. In theory, could maybe go past it if you then like broke it up further, but size of Jupiter already seems ridiculously pointlessly large. Will there be a way to implement shaders for people with beefy PCs? Probably. Yeah. Oh, how will the planets' sizes differ? Yeah, different planet sizes will. So the way I'm thinking of it now is the size you'll choose at the start will be the size of your starting Earth-like planet, and then all the other planets will be scaled to match that one. So you will have 1G on the Earth-like planet no matter what. And then the gravity on all the other planets will be scaled based on that starting planet. And they'll be scaled in size based on that starting planet. So if you say start with an Earth, let's just say for argument's sake is 10 kilometers to run round. We'll say it has a moon and that's 3 kilometers to run around and it has, what would that be, like a tenth of the gravity. And then if you made the starting planet only have 1 kilometer starting radius, that means that the moon would then have 300 meter radius and the gravity would still be 1/10. That's the way that'll all work. I think leaning towards though is not by default allowing the player to choose the size of the world that they start in. It's kind of fixed because I think there's like a best size that the game works for survival, because that balances, how far you got to run to different biomes, where we're spawning all the stuff in. Because we're on a finite world, we'll be spawning one of a lot of things in. There'll be one of something that you need to get to, whether that's like a boss fight or, a base you need to find or whatever. So if you make the world the size of Earth, and then you've got to find one of something on the size of Earth, you're going to have a bad time. Yeah, so I think the survival game will be designed around a particular planet size. Now, that's not to say that I won't let you change the planet size, but we'll just make it harder, as in it'll be like commands to do it. It'll be like console or something that warns the player that, hey, you are ruining the intended survival experience. And then for creative, of course, it doesn't matter. We'll just let you kind of do whatever you want in creative. But yeah, the worst thing to do is let players do exactly what they want on the first time playing the game, because they don't understand. With no context, they'd load in, put on like a stupidly large planet, and then go, "Wow, this game's rubbish." You know what I mean? We want to give them the best experience on their first time play. The first time playing without like limiting people who have been playing from doing something crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we have to stop people from being able to do crazy stuff, because that's always fun. I'm sure there'll be someone like, oh, I'm going to do the speed run of PlanetSmith with an Earth-size like planet. That'd be kind of funny. I don't even know if that'd be possible. It'd be crazy. You'd spend like hours, days probably running between places. Like real-time days. Right. Oh, yeah. I'm distracting myself. I want a planet that's just 12 pentagons. Oh god. Yeah, that would be. It's not actually the engine actually can't deal with that currently. The smallest planet you can have has to have at least one chunk size between the pentagons, and our chunk size at the minute is 16 blocks. So technically you could reduce a chunk size to one block, and the game would probably work. I actually don't know. That might bring about some weird errors because of the way it looks. I think that would work. So the smallest planet you could have, it would be like the classic soccer / football size in terms of blocks, which would be, what's that, 32 panels? Is it? Yeah, I think a soccer ball is 12 pentagons plus 20 hexagons. Right. I needed to make components. That's what I was doing. So for ECS, you need to make the components. We need to make the components. Oh, let's find out where the other component is. That's easy. Block still position component. Let's find out where that's saved. Well, because it should probably go alongside this for neatness. And that's not neat at all, Ken. Ugh, who did this? Right, let's make ourselves a folder. Let's call it world objects. That'll do. And then we're going to create one which is going to be called, it'll need an entity. Interesting. I just thought this is gonna, yeah, I should probably write, we're gonna ignore multiple players for now. We're gonna, yeah, I'll let that kick my ass later. Oh, what? If I click this one, does that just work? Ah, that one works too. Player, no. Let's just call it pickup for now. We'll make it a component. So chuck it in here. Namespace ECS dot components. That will do. And then we need to make it a struct. Classes don't work with ECS. Well, they don't work with jobs. And then it wants to be, is it iComponent data? Yes. And then, is it partial? I've forgotten now. Some things have to be partial, other things. No, systems are partial. Systems are partial. Then we need public bool. And then we're going to call it in the future we'll add an entity here, so it'll have a bool for pickup and it'll have an entity for who picked it up. At the minute, because there's only one player, single player, I'll put that in later just for simplicity. Now we'll pretend like here there's only one player. In reality, that should be an array of, or should it still be one? Because it depends where this is getting calculated. If this is calculated on the server, then it's the array. Oh, this is all stuff to worry about in the future. Also, a question: will there be a biome-only planets, like kind of like a full desert planet, aka Tatooine? I don't see any reason why not. We probably will. It's still nice to have some variation, I feel, but maybe we will have one which is like a single biome of something. Yeah. I mean, one of the planet types that will definitely happen will be ocean planets. I love the idea of having ocean planets. I'm sure we'll have an ice ocean planet as well, where it's, you know, frozen and you got to go dig down to get to the water as well. You know, like is it Europa? think that's an ice moon that's got a liquid ocean underneath. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of a full water planet as well. That's kind of fun. Yeah, water worlds. What's the water world in the Clone Wars called? I've forgotten. Yeah, Subnautica planet. That's a good point. Yeah, Subnautica's all underwater. Yeah, and it's also cool to do. Like, I think Titan's a really fun moon in our solar system, which has, like the methane, liquid methane on its surface, and it rains methane and that kind of stuff. Now, to visit there in PlanetSmith, it'd be a bit empty. Sure, that would be cool, but we'll kind of like do that theme with the liquid methane, but then fill it with life, Then it's fun. Europa is one of Saturn's. Is it? I can't remember. I thought it was Jupiter. Oh yeah, someone's corrected with Jupiter. Yeah, I thought it was. It's one of the Europa's one of the Galilean moons. I think one of the four. Don't ask me for the names of the other ones. I've forgotten. It's Europa. Ah, it's gone. I'm not winning the pub quiz today. Right. So, we now need to grab. Oh, this one wants to be read only. And then this one wants to be write only. Public component type handle, and then we want to use our, what do we call it? Pickup component. Pick up component handle. Right, so then we get our native array of pick up component. Pick up component array. Finally, pick up. Oh, pick. Hello. Okay. So then the last step here, we take our picked up component array and we're at index C, and that equals a new pickup component where the picked up is true. Right. And then we can delete it and give it to the player. If this works, we can then expand. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. Where were we? Dropped object system. So we need to run this before. Oh, that's a bit dirty. I don't like this. We're just making this. So what I'm doing here. Out. Job. Handle. Oh, what do I call this? We'll make a handle. So this is async now. And it means we can run the other job. I really want to make this so it's completely async. We'll make it a task. We will make it a task. Because what this will do at the minute is it'll cause a sync between jobs and... Don't really want to sync. I mean, that was already causing... Oh. Ugh. Ugh. That there's bad. Get rid of that. Had to happen. This should all be coming... I clearly made this knowing that was coming back later. Yep. So we then want to do our job. So we want our job handle pick up job equals new what's our job called? Objects. And then we want to do schedule parallel, and then we need the entity query. Ooh. So then how did I do this in that one? I did my queries here, didn't I? God, that's awful. Who wrote this other one? That should be get entity query. Thank you. That's going to get replaced, but it'll do for now. So let's call it this. We don't want chunk, we want object entity query. And we want this. And then we want to replace that. Oh, we'll make this into a field. And here we want perfect. And then we should feed in our data. So player position equals whatever. I'll fix that in a second. Player position equals, we're not actually using this at the minute, but it needs to be set, otherwise it'll error. Pickup component, it was get component type handle, and then it's pickup component false. And last one is position, box position component type handle equals get component type handle position component, and this one is read only. Did I have anything else? I don't think I did. It's only 4 things, wasn't it? Let's just check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Take a shot every time Ken says, "Who wrote this?" Yeah, do not recommend. Okay, so we've got the pickup job handle now. We need to assign that still, otherwise it won't work. So let's grab the... Is there an easy way to grab the player? Bum, bum, bum. I suppose just an entity creator to array it and then grab it instantly. Ugh, it's a bit disgusting, but it'll work for just now. And then I'll complain about who wrote it later. Actually, it doesn't even need to be in... Oh yeah, it does, because I need to dispose it. Oh, this is really disgusting. Whatever. Whatever. Right, this will grab the player. Player dispose. That needs that picked up. So we got our job. Okay, here. So int for player location. So, and that is... Oh, we need to get the so position component player equals player 0. Yuck. Dot. Oh no. Get component data typo player. Oh, sorry. Voxel position component player 0. Then we need to take the player. It's unsigned. Can I cast it directly? Yes, I can. Apparently I didn't need that one. And then we replace this with player location. Right, that should work. And then we need to do handles utility, isn't it? Handle utility. Oh no. Oh, job handle. Job handle. Oh, here we go. Combine dependencies. Pick up job handle and what's the other one called? Oh, it's up here. Dropped. Now we're going to complete it. Which is this line here, offensive. This line here, extremely offensive. But it'll let us test. And then in here, we first want to check if it's being picked up. I just write bool, not sure. So if picked up, right. Let's do some stuff. Let's just destroy. Why does it create them? Because I can drop toxic. Ba ba. Oh, drop toxic pool. Drop objects pool dot push. Oh, budget. And if I push it, right, I'll finish this and then I'll have a quick read down the comments. Boom, boom, boom. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? We're pushing it back in. Oh, I've got to check how it pushes it back in. I think I've got to disable it. Yeah. That's all I've got to do. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that should work. That should work. And then we also want to remove it from here. So and that will then destroy our entity. So now it won't give the player the block. So is this the... I don't know what type it is. Oh, it must be in here. Oh, I said it here, so it must be. What have we got in here? What's in dropped object component? Ah, here we go. So if we just grab the dropped object component. And then we can debug it. Dropped object component. And then let's give ourselves a little debug to make it happy. Debug, so we know what we've picked something up. Debug.log. I just picked up. Oh, let's make it one of these. And then we're going to put in here drop object component dot object dropped object component. Oh, should have done that the other way around. I just picked up number and what it is, and then if we cast this to voxel type, we'll get a nice little name for ourselves. Oh, that looks like it would work. Okay, let's read chat for a sec just before I click play. Yeah, if you've got any questions, repost them now, and I'll get to them if I've missed them, because yeah, I'm only gonna go up a couple lines on the chat. Seems to really meet people talking. I feel like there should be a game mode or a mode where you create your own planets. Yeah, I can definitely see that as a future, like a sort of like world editor one. That would be cool. We already have some editor tools that can do some cool world edity stuff. Since the terrain could get pretty large, could there be the possibility to build vehicles in a more flexible way, like the style of create Valkyrian Skies 2 plus track work? I don't know those very well. Build, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how vehicles are going to work currently. Yeah, I like the idea of trains for sure. Not like Minecraft minecarts, but more like a train where you're restricted a bit more on like slopes. Just because, yeah, I think it'd be more interesting that if you have to build bridges and stuff like that. Yeah, and of course trains, but I feel like trains are more painful to make. That is very true. Does anyone happen to know the maximum stack size? Currently, it's 128. That's kind of arbitrary, though. There is a coding reason why it's 128 at the minute, but I could clearly get past that. What about 2D PlanetSmith? I suppose you could. I suppose isn't Starbound 2D planets? Am I in the barrel cult? No, I'm not part of the barrel cult. I have posted on the barrel spam channel before, though. Oh, here's a good question. What do you think about the suggestion multiple people had where you scale the blocks vertically to be proportional to the amount of horizontal stretching so blocks stay proportional as you build higher? I really don't like that because then you wouldn't be able to jump like over a block and stuff like that. It gets really weird. And then people say, well, scale the player too to match. Then it gets really weird. You'll get some really weird effects if you do that. Like, if you're on the ground and you look up, it'll look like the top of the building's like really fat. And then when you go up there, it's like it'll like shrink as you go up, and then the bottom like shrinks from below you. It'd be really weird. Right. Let's see if this works. First time, it works every time. Yeah, that looks like it's working. Definitely not a console full of errors. Oh, of course. Which one's cross? 47. Dropped. Ah. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Yep. This time it'll work. This time. This time. This time. Hey, no errors. Right, dare I drop it on the floor? Oh, do you know what's funny? There is. I've just thought of a possible bug. There is no delay from dropping a block from being able to pick it up. So I think as soon as I drop this, it'll get deleted from the world and it should pop up in the console saying I've just picked up a snow block. It won't appear in my inventory, that's fine. But I need to put some sort of like lifetime timer on them so you can't pick it up immediately. And it has to be tied to a player as well. I know we're not doing multiple players at the minute, so that'll be a later thing. That's fine, that can be retroed. Let's see. See if my... well, it picked it up. That's something. So this one's... Did I not complete it? Oh, I completed it here. Oh, I probably want to do this though. Let's just do dependency equals that. Dependency dot complete. Let's try that. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yes, the feature that every time you drop a block, it freezes in front of you and you can no longer play the game. That's my favorite type of game feature. Oh, we've got another snow block to test with. Let's see. Same error, same error. Yeah, is the game completely frozen? Oh no. It's artwork. Interesting that it's at an angle as well. That's funny. So what is happening? What's it not happy about? Okay. What we can do is disable burst. Then this will give us a better error. Let's just turn the draw distance right down, because when burst's not running, it runs a lot slower. Look at the lag. Ugh. Okay. Alright, let's go read this now. Oh. Okay. Right. It does help if you add the component to the object. You don't add it to your object, it's not going to have it. We can put burst on again. Right, this time. Well, it's improvement. There's no longer a floating block. Oh? And you can apparently never pick anything up ever again. Let's see what this error is. Oh, it wants burst off, of course. Maybe let's leave burst off for a minute. I hope temperature becomes a core feature. It's one of my main disappointments with Minecraft. Yes. Yeah, I do like survival mechanics where temperature matters. I mean, I'm not going to make it. It's not going to be crazy realistic. It's going to be a bit more like if everyone's played, I suppose, Breath of the Wild, or I always think of Metroid Prime, where it's just you have to upgrade your suit to be able to deal with that hazardous environment. That's the kind of more the idea I'm thinking. You know, it kind of doesn't make sense to be Breath of the Wild and you just have to put on a woolly hat to go to another planet. Because there could be, you know, there's air to breathe as well as temperature, as well as that kind of stuff. Then on your starting planet, like being a hot desert, will probably make it affect you to some level, but it'll still be explorable, of course. It just might be, you know, it drains you or something. I haven't quite decided. Right, let's see what's happening wrong here. Oh, it's still not happy. I'm reading from it. Am I? Where? Does that count as reading it? That counts as reading it? Really? Okay, whatever. Take... That's weird. That was right only. I'm obviously missing something there. I should really put maximize on play so everyone can see better. Like, it's fine for me on my monitor, but I suppose if you're watching on YouTube, it's probably really tiny. Right, this time. Oh. Oh. We haven't picked it up, which is one thing. But it... Ooh. Let's... Can we do this? Hold on. Before I run over it, will it work? Let's see what the confidence level is. We should have done this at the start. But will it work now? If I run onto this block, will it disappear? Oh. We think it'll work? We're 57. We're very optimistic. If I voted myself, I'd probably vote no. But that's not the point. 35 minutes behind. Will it work? What we're thinking now is, if I run onto this block, will it disappear from the world and console pop up saying that I've picked up a snow block? We'll see. Okay. The crowd's saying yes. Let's quickly end that poll, I think. End poll. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No! Damn it. Damn it. Well, there it goes. Why is it not? I was pretty confident that something was going to happen, not nothing. Right. Let's put some disgusting debugs in now then. So we'll do this in, and then we'll put in the player location. So these numbers should line up. Let's put maximize on play on. This is inherently programming, though. It's going and doing the same thing thousands of times until you work out why you're stupid. Okay, so we've got one block. Let's do it with one block, and then we'll see. We should get stuff spamming in console as soon as I do this. Uh-oh. Why is that 0, 0, 0? There's your problem. This value here is not being set. Why? So any dynamic object is getting updated. Is this running? Tracked object system. Let's check to make sure that this system's actually running. Wait. Position. So it's looking at the world position. So that is getting written. Hmm. So why is that other thing not getting written? That should be already getting populated. Let's look which systems are running. So tracked object system is running. So this system's running. And tracked object component types. So it needs to have a voxel position component, a world position. It doesn't have a world object managed component. What does world object managed mean? Has a transform. Because it looks... Oh, because it works that way. Oh, that's why it's not being updated. That makes sense. That makes sense. But this here doesn't need to use... Aha. This wants to be correct. And then we need a separate entity query, which is then yep. So if we now update this to use the dynamic objects, because going back to the how this works is tracked objects have these components, dynamic objects have these components. So they're sharing these bits. So this part is the bit we care about. Oh, but then it has a velocity component. We don't care about the velocity component. Okay. We need another type. We need another type of component. It's kind of like we think of this like inheritance. Okay. Let's just duplicate this one. And what we're going to call this? We're going to call it world. Yeah. World objects component types. I'm going to delete this bit here. And then tracked objects is going to be there we go. And we can delete these two. And we can do the same here. Delete these two. Let's give that a line break for reading's sake. Right. So now we want to use world objects component type in our tracked object system. Let's call this world. And then we want to do... Now in theory, that works. Let's keep our debug in. Let's... how's confidence? Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to say fifth attempt. We're calling this the fifth attempt. No. Yes, 50-50. I'll give you a couple of seconds. We'll click play. Right, at a bare minimum, I want the debug to spit out a number. Where is it? Lost my job. At least, bare minimum, is that this becomes a number. Okay. I like we've lost confidence. That's better. Right, well, in now. We're going 50-50. If it doesn't work, I'm going back to Minecraft. Oh, we got a lot on the line here. Oh my gosh. Well, the game's working less than it was before. Oh, we've gone backwards. This one. Why is this unhappy? Oh. Oh, I know why that's unhappy. We're counting this as the same one. Doesn't count. Redo. Redo. That's just a typo. That doesn't count. We're calling this the fifth. It's still the fifth. Go away. All right, let's see. Oh. Did I load it? What? We have a massive hole. I've never spawned in. I thought it was like... That's like... Oh, it's a pentagon! Dear. You can see like the world gens, like for some reason the pentagon must be like at a different height to everything around it. That's hilarious. Like, look at this. The like the world gen. What seed's this? I'm gonna write it down. That's too funny. So that is seed 4470611616. And we are at block 300131. Also 300. Okay, 300. I'll do 3. Wait, how can I be in 3? That's gotta be wrong. That's interesting. There's something wrong with that because that shouldn't read 3. Student Z. Oh, interesting. Oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Judging by the fact that that's not updating, I'm gonna guess the player position's not updating correctly now either. Oh, we underwater? We're underwater. I didn't even realize. It does, yeah, because there's no rendering to show you that you're underwater. Interesting. Right. Back to the test. I already know it's not working. Here we go. No. Right, let's look at the logs. Oh. Oh. Hold on. Just it worked. We'll take that. Right. Victory. Stop the camera. It worked. Let's just double check. I mean, we got an error. Right, what's our error? But it disappeared. But did we get our output before the errors? Oh, let's just stop now. So that was only a Z height lineup thing. Because of like where the player's feet was. So that 100% counts. Okay, here's our errors. I just picked up 3 sand. Okay, and then we got a ton of errors. Why is the player position off in the F3 screen though? I want to quickly work out why, because that's clearly just been broken, I think. So let's fix that first. We're counting that as a win. The errors after, that's something else that we have to deal with. Probably because of how I deleted it. Yeah, here. Update positions job. This errored. Job profile for entity phys objects. Why did this one error though? Phys objects. Oh, I didn't remove it from the physics system. That's all that is. Physics objects. So how does it get added? Add dynamic object. Oh, so I just need to remove it. And I've got no function to remove it. Okay. I forgot how this works, so I just need to remove it from the physics calculation. So that worked. It's just that the physics system didn't stop trying to do physics on something after I deleted it. Oh, but I need to find it. Oh, is this not going to work then? Because it's a stack. It's a stack of entities. But we need to remove. Oh yeah, because that's adding it on here new. It's also just add no resize. Okay, okay. We need to another list. Remove dynamic objects. And then this wants to be remove dynamic objects. Or we could just check it for null. That's actually fine, I think. Because then we have our... Wait, our delete queue is never used. Oh, I obviously designed the deletion queue, but never did anything with it. Physics objects delete queue. So we probably want to start here. Let's do this for now. I might change this lights. And then we're just going to go in physics objects. That'll work, I think. And that'll just remove automatically anything that's been deleted. Or it should. And then the other problem with the console. Okay, let's test this first, and let's put a little more leniency on the z-axis just for now, because that's annoying. What was it called? Object pickup job. If object pickup job is less than. So if it's less than. Or plus 2 is greater than. That should give us a bit of leniency, shouldn't it? Oh, we also want to add the time thing in, right? We can get let's get rid of that for now. We can. Someone said, add an ant mobs that are harmless unless you allow too many to conjugate in dark spaces in your house, during which they form an advanced hive mind that will eat your house. That is all. It sounds kind of like really bad silverfish. Nothing to see here. What? Where did the first? Is this the first error? That one's. What happened there? Okay. Oh, I'm in the world scene, not the title scene. Dum dum. I was going to check the console thing, wasn't I? That's what I was doing. F3 canvas. Here we go. Stats. Position. That's even weirder because that should be working. That's got nothing to do with what we've just done. And I've never seen that not work. Okay. Whatever. Back to the title. That's unrelated to what we're doing now, at least. So. Question, do you have a thought for the game progression, or is that further down the line? You mean like how progression works in game? Yeah, that's we've got a broad plan of how that's going to work. You're going to be stuck on your starting planet for, I'd say we'll call these first playthrough times, not I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm going to speed run it times. I'm thinking about 10 to 20 hours kind of range it'll take you to get off your first planet. You'll have lots of stuff to do. We've kind of written them as different ages. So it's kind of like you start in the dark ages, then you're getting into like the bronze and iron ages where your tools are getting better, and then eventually you're getting into the like space ages later on. But they're not like Earth's ages. It's not like a realistic progression that way. It's just the way we're thinking about it by what the player is able to do. Like I think one of the ages we're calling like the questing age, and that's when you're going out to get specific things, basically. Yeah, and then once off world, it'll be kind of like a bit, go to new planet, new explorations, expand yourself further. Kind of like how Minecraft, it takes a while before you can go to the Nether. I know if you speedrun it, you can do it in like really, really quickly, but the intended play is much longer. Right. Let's drop these snow blocks, and it should say, I think it should say instantaneously, I've picked up 3 snow. Okay, well, got an error instead. That's something. Yes, I picked up 3 snow blocks. And then we got the error from this one. So that didn't remove it. Why? I'm gonna have to remove them manually. So what's the exact error? The entity does not exist. So it should be null. Must be not understanding it correctly. Saying that this hasn't run. So for all the physics objects, if any are equal to null, then remove them. On the surface, that seems fine. Is it not equal to null? Let's. Best way to do this. Probably this way. And then we are going to remove it. Right, and then you can say, I did it. Let's see if that works. Right, let's see if we get 2 sand and no error. Oh! It worked! We should have 2 sand. Let's see. Oh, I should have had a poll for this one. I was so unconfident. I didn't even have to put a poll up. Did we get the other... Here. There we go. Console said, I just picked up 2 sand. Great. When do you think this will get released to Steam? Oh, so Steam release, early access will be our first. Okay, so there's a few things to say. We will have playtests on Steam throughout this year. The next one, a couple months away. Let's call it April for now. That date could get pushed out further. It could come closer, but I think April's a good guess at the minute. After that, we'd hopefully have more playtests this year at a more regular cadence. The reason there's such a big gap between the first one and the second one is there's so much to do to get survival enough into survival that there's something to do. But as for an early access release on Steam, 2026 at the earliest. At the earliest. We don't want to release... We'd rather spend longer making it and get a better release, and then just keep everyone being able to play now and then with playtests. I think that's a better model. We might... There's a chance we do like a pre-early access release, which... for something, you know, like if we did like... some sort of Patreon, Kickstarter, crowdfunding thing. We were granting like extreme early access, but it'd be very much under the idea that this is extreme early access, expect the game to be broken kind of stuff. Whereas when we go into early access, we want the game to be very playable, you know? We want it to, you know, feel like a complete game, even though there's tons more content we're wanting to add before it's 1.0. Yeah, we don't want like a buggy early access where people are complaining all the time going, oh, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Right, next stage. So we've picked stuff up. That's great. The removing of the objects works. That's great. Next step. Let's make it so you don't pick it up instantly. Because that's kind of lame. So we need a cooldown. This cooldown is going to have a player attached to it too, I think. But for now, we'll just make it a cooldown. Right, in fact, just duplicate this. Why didn't that rename? What? You trolling me? That's a Unity 6 bug. Oh, it's renamed. Look at that. That's a Unity 6 bug. Interesting. Not seen that one before. Oh, Kyle said, Ken, I'm about to leave, but my parting wish, can you read my suggestion on Beryllium aloud so I can listen to it when I'm done with class? I think Europa would enjoy it as well. Is that in this chat, or is this on the suggestions? Maybe some suggestions. We'll go have a look later in suggestions. Ken, you might want to check the last 40 message in PlanetSmith chat. We've been cooking. Okay. Maybe you could just make an early access. Just want to explore the world. It looks cool already. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the problem with releasing something super early and letting people just, instead of doing it like limited time. So when we're doing the limited time playtests, we don't have to worry that there's not a ton of content. Whereas, I think that is a problem because we want people to play the game for, you know, more than just an hour, go, hey, that's cool, and then not pick it up again, which is kind of the problem we get the minute. Yeah, could you remove the height limit? I mean, there's going to have to be some form of height limit somewhere, just because memory, you know. At the minute, it's 512. Yeah. We'll definitely have ways. You know, I was thinking of making it lower, as I talked about in other videos, on smaller planets. Maybe how do we deal with that? Because yeah, I want it to be good for the average user without limiting people that want to do silly stuff. We'll think of a way to fix that. Maybe it'll be like a commands thing or something, you know, like, or a tick box at the start, which is like disable height limits or something like that. Okay, bloat. In fact, int lifetime. Yeah, I think that's fine. Should it be a uint? Nah, leave it as an int. could delete the cooldown component when it's done. Oh, that's interesting. Because then you can pop it on, it consumes itself and then deletes. Yes. Yes. I like this. I like this. Is there going to be a circuitry system similar to Redstone? Probably. I've already got a game out there which has like logic gates and systems in it. Yeah, I think we'll add something. Will it be the same as Redstone? Almost certainly not. Will it be the hex version of Redstone? Again, almost certainly not. But we'll probably have something because I think it's fun. It's fun. I mean, at the very least, you always want to have a button that opens a door, you know? And then when you have a button that opens a door, you know, you maybe want a button that opens two doors. And then before you know it, you've got a fully functioning redstone system. How will pistons work at the pentagons? I think it's fine. They kind of work the same as on any hexagon, apart from they can only point in 5 directions instead of 6. A lot of blocks aren't coded properly for the pentagons yet, but they work just like any other block. That's why they're always grass at the minute, because the world gen just ignores the pentagons for other gen, so it just makes it a grass block, which I think is always kind of funny. Right, so that's that now, and we can add a cooldown component. So when we generate drop object system, here, so we're going to have a cooldown component added. I've added it this time, so we won't get that error. So then we want to set the lifetime to, let's make it 5 seconds. So 5 times global settings dot tick rate. There we go. In case we change the tick rate later, it'll still work. Now we just want to stop the player from being able to pick up here. So that's this job. We need to add in a read only for the cooldown. Oh. We can't delete the cool. That's annoying. It'd be nice if you could delete the cooldown component so it doesn't get processed. I don't think we can because I'm gonna have to Google this. This might be not possible with jobs. Unity jobs. Check if has a Be nice if we could swap the component around. Let's just experiment. I can't get an easy answer from Google. We can find out ourselves. The reason I don't want the cooldown component, because I could just have it equal 0. No, I would bust it. It would definitely bust this, because then everything could be a different length. Can you remove a component from inside a job? Let's see if that's possible. If that's not possible, it's a moot point anyway. Unity. Inside job. You can use it with an entity command buffer. So we could do that. Because Unity. Oh, I can disable them. How to disable it? Unity to disable. I'm using I enableable component system. I think we stick with this for now. Okay, let's stick with this for now. Keep it simple, stupid. Slightly inefficient, but we're talking marginal. Later date, I might. It'd be really nice if we could separate that so it's like you pop the cooldown on effectively as like a script that pops on, and when it's done, it disappears. So it's not that you have to check it and check that it's 0. It's that it literally doesn't exist, so you don't even have to check it. That sounds faster to me. At the same time, we do want this to work with. Different player, so it probably always needs to look at it. It's a tricky one. Oh, if I didn't send this in as a chunk, I could feed the entity in. Get component. That is slower though. This is probably faster. You could do get component lookup with the entity. Could link another entity. That seems dumb. Right, the cooldown. So we want to check the cooldown. If cooldown is greater than 0, continue. Easy. And then we need to add a new system that is going to tick this cooldown. We need to set this. And we need to make a new system. So let's go to our systems, generation hybrid, jobs, make a new folder. That's going to be called cooldown update job. Delete this junk. And then let's feed in this one. We've already typed it, let's not type it again. That one. That one. Take away read only. I can copy this line too. Cooldown equals cooldown upon array C cooldown lifetime is less than 0. Can you? And then we're going to say cooldown. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Cooldown minus equals 1. Oh, sorry. Dot lifetime. And then finally, cooldown component array C equals the new cooldown. Easy. That's our job. Delete that. And then we need to make our system to run the job. Cooldown. Oh, this one. We want cooldown system. Cooldown tick cooldown system. I'll do. And this one should be a public partial class. And it's system base, I think. Yep. And we want to put it in. Oops. Namespace ECS.systems. And it will want an execute date, and then we want on create, and then we want n underscore cool down query equals get entity query type of cool down component. Okay, and then we want to do dependency equals new cool down job, and we want to schedule parallel, and we'll put dependency. Oh, the query first, sorry. Cool down query and the dependency. The last one is get. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Cool down component false. That's our new system. And then we need to queue our system to run, otherwise it won't run currently. Oh, we need to disable auto creation. We want to create, because Unity by default creates them all automatically, but we don't want that. We want to generate ours with planets. It means we can have different ones for different planets, which is kind of cool. Planet. As you see, the planet script generates its own world. They call it world in Unity for where ECS data exists, but I mean it's a world with a world. And then this here is how I lay them all out. So after tick update system, we will do cooldown, because that sounds pretty important. Right, so in theory, we've got the new cooldown system. It's got the job. It should update. There we go. Let's have a poll. Will the cooldown work? How confident are we with this time? And we'll have a look through some chats while I'm here. So if you've got any more questions, now's a good time because I'm reading chat. I'm not going to go back up through chat. I'm just going to read from here. Yeah, it's Nog messages. You wish you knew more about coding, having trouble follow. That's not surprising because this isn't normal coding either, so it makes it even harder to follow. And like, I'm years into this project, so I understand how everything links together. If you're just looking here, it's very hard to understand how everything links together. What inspired the making of this game? Skyblock, Agarian Skies, actually, to be precise. I really liked that style. I'm gonna have to close my window because somebody's streaming outside. Well, yeah, so Agarian Skies did. I wanted to make like a tiny planet, which was like a skyblock planet was the idea, and as you build stuff, your planet expands. And then over time, that changed to what PlanetSmith's going to be. It's not planned to be a skyblock experience. But that's why I don't know if the very first video you might have seen of the game on the first devlog was like a tiny cube world that was tiny, and the reason it was like that is because I was thinking of like skyblock, and then you'd get blocks and you'd be able to build your planet out rather than build your island out. So it'd be like a 3D building out thing, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. Will there be infinite planet gen like Outer Wilds? Outer Wilds doesn't have planet gen, does it? Maybe you're thinking of I haven't played it, but the other outer ones. Outer Worlds? Which is different. Yeah, or like No Man's Sky, which has infinite planet gen. Will we have infinite planet gen though? Definitely no time soon. So I'm nearly 100% sure we will not have infinite planet gen in 1.0. By infinite, obviously we'll have infinite number of seeds. Well, not infinite, but practically infinite number of planets through the different seeds, but not an infinite number of different types of planets, because each planet will be tied to its own type. But for like true like procedural random solar systems where each solar system has completely random planets that aren't any of the base types of our planets, that could be like a future goal where you can then go interstellar and then it gets completely random. That could be fun. But yeah, each planet will be, of course, completely random and procedural, and there'll be basically an infinite number of them, but they will all follow their rules. Like the Earth-like planet's always going to look Earth-like. Okay, let's close the poll. We've got yes, high confidence. I've actually got high confidence in this one. Infinite planet gen will produce an infinite amount of boring planets. Yeah, that's one of the problems. You have to then do like infinite like creature gen, and there's like tons of problems to go with it. Let's go. Will there be combat, or is it just punch, sword, etc.? Well, punch, sword is combat, so I'm not quite sure what you mean. But yeah, it's planned to be more of that hand-to-hand combat. We will have ranged weapons, but it won't be guns and stuff. That that's the plan. Okay. So this should drop, and I shouldn't pick it up. Well, step one. Shouldn't pick up yet. Oh. And then it should suddenly pick up. Hey! First time! That's pretty good. I just picked up 4 grass. 2 dirt. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I just picked up 2 dirt. Let's count it out better this time. So this should say I just picked up... Oh, those floating blocks are going to really annoy me. I need to fix that soon. Okay, so this should just say, let's count to 5 when it does it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. I just picked up 24 grass. Perfect. Okay. Let's ship it. That's what people want. Right. Part 2. Cool that we picked it up. Let's add that to the player's inventory now. Seeing as we've only got one player, we don't have to worry about multiple players at the minute. Will become a thing that we'll have to, inside here, we will then assign it to the correct player, but seeing as we're not having multiple players yet, I don't have to worry about it. Here's our line. After this, I should fix the floating glass thing. Yeah, I might do. Although I might, after I do this, because, yeah, I'm probably going to stop and have some lunch. We've probably got 3/4 of an hour left, and then I'll go make myself some lunch and have a break. Yeah, so some people are saying the foliage should have 3-way symmetry or 6-way symmetry rather than the 4-way symmetry. A lot of people say this. The original cards that I did have that. I just really hated it. It looked really weird, especially when you're looking at the grass from a distance. Now that's not to say I'm not going to try again with a different technique, but maybe we try again. And I've also, it might be cool to do particle grass instead. So when you're close, instead of it being cards, it's actually particles, and it makes it feel a lot thicker. And we could do like our hexagonal grass looks, and it'd be all particle, and it'd be really full, the block. I think that would look really nice. So that's an option too. Particle grass could be a thing. Right, let's give it to the player. So, oh, how do I get easy access to the player? Player. Hey, what's my best way to get easy access to the player, even if it's not multiplayer friendly at the minute? Do any other of my systems get access to the player? Let's see. So that doesn't. Tracked objects kind of does, but that's through entities. Yeah, that's through entities. So we don't care. Chunk open. No, that's looking. That's not. None of these are looking directly at the player. So the entity that is the player needs to link. So at the minute there is other ways I could link it to the player, but they're not the way it's ultimately going to work. So I want at least to get halfway there at the minute. So we're at least going to use the player entity to identify him. So we already have the player entity here. It's player 0. In reality, this picked up job it'll assign the entity in here, but we're not doing that at the minute. But we'll use it here. Oh, maybe we should do that already. Oh, that's painful. I think I should do it. Let's do it. Player these. To entity list async. Temp job. Out. Player. Player. Oh, job handle. Okay. combine those dependencies. We are going to get rid of both of these. So this is going to become an entity. Sorry, native list entity. And this is going to be layers. And then we're going to need a read. Oh, we can skip that one. We'll do both. Whatever. What is it? Voxel position component. Dear. And then this wants to be voxel. Oh no, it wants to be yeah. Come on, I want hinting. Where's it? Oh no. Component lookup voxel position component is. Oh no! I think this will error. I don't. Am I allowed to do this? I'll find out. Voxel position. The reason I'm saying I think you're not allowed to have a component lookup and a component type handle of the same type, but I guess we'll find out. Let me component lookup world position component. This is world position lookup. Okay. Oh, I keep spelling that wrong. Oh, and yeah, look up. There we go. Oh, technically we'll do that later, and then we want to do for instance layers dot length, and then we want to go layer equals layers layer C. And then we need voxel position component layer position component equals voxel position component lookup, and then we add in the player entity. There we go. And then we can do our tests here. Oh, we need to break out of this. So this needs to be a function, otherwise we can't break all the way out. Check. Oh no, that's fine. No, because if we break this, yeah, that's fine. We'll do it this way. It's easier. I'll still do it this way. We'll have to do a better check soon. But this will do for now. Okay, so that's happy. And then break. Okay, so that'll work. But we also want to say pickup equals true. And we're going to add in here public entity player. So this is the player that has picked it up. So, oh, this is going to be right. We don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Players equals player entities. Voxel position lookup equals get component lookup tag position true, and world position component lookup get component lookup world position component read only true. Yep. One more. Right. I think we're there. Nearly there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. If anyone knows what I'm on about, I think that's pretty funny. It's a script with 6 things. Yeah, they're also from the biomes. You're right; those are the biomes. There's also a Deadlands biome, which is like a what's it called? A mesa biome. Yeah, and yeah, there's lots of other biomes that are in code that aren't in world, which I think is funny. Because like if you look at the biome data when you're in a desert, some of the time it will be saying like you're in a jungle or you're in savanna or and so on. Yes, taiga has its own wooden leaf type. Yeah, we've got tons of biomes that we want to add in. I want the. Oh, we're probably aiming like 24-ish biomes plus. I don't know, because I have a ton of ocean biomes too. Like in code, there's a mangroves biome, there's a shallow seas biome, there's a deep ocean, and I kind of want to do stuff with them as well. And we might have. Well, we're definitely gonna have rock biomes, where it's like different rock areas. So just because you're a desert biome doesn't mean you're in a sandstone biome, for instance. It could be something else that's underneath the rock type. And then cave biomes as well. We're probably going to do something with that too. There's tons to do. You can kind of go forever. The world gen is due an overhaul soon, though. Add a birch biome for the memes. Yeah. Yeah, there's a new devlog soon, by the way. I've recorded the voiceover for it. I've started recording the clips, and then Sean will edit it, put it together, and hopefully next week it'll be out. Yeah, Sean doesn't work all the time. He's just been part-time, so it's like when he's around, he can edit some videos. Okay, I've lost my train of thought. So we're saying if that position equals that, that's fine. And then, oh, here. And then the player equals players I. As stupid as that is just now, because there is only ever one player. So this is actually really says from 0 to 1. Ooh, but if this is running on a server, there's going to be multiple players. We want the server to decide who picks something up, not the players to decide. Could there be floating islands at any point? There probably will be. Yeah. So at the minute, obviously no cave generation, and the way the surface generates is just using a boring height map, and I don't want it to work that way. It's gonna because that stops you being able to have overhangs and stuff like that. So it's going to work differently. Yeah, and that'll let us have overhangs and all that good stuff. And the world generation is going to work completely differently. I've had different ideas, and some of them are going more down how Minecraft's worlds generate. Because I mean, after all, they have been making that game for like 15 plus years. They have some good ideas when it comes to efficient generation that looks good. I'm not saying we're copying it like, oh, do this, do that, do this, but they definitely have some good ideas in there. Yeah, but like our biome generation's different to Minecraft's. Our world generation at the minute is completely different, but I'm going to change. Some of the things that I'm going to take a leaf out of their book is at the minute, it doesn't. What happens is it generates like the terrain like all at once, and I'm going to split it into more steps where it generates like the blocks just all as stone first, and then it converts those stone blocks into the type that they should be for the biome, and that lets us do some more interesting stuff, especially when it comes to adding caves. Because our current code won't let us add caves easily. It would just kind of like break the world. Yeah. But that's happening after this survival playtest. So this survival playtest is going to be on the current world gen. And then after that, it's going to get completely rewritten. So it does mean that it's likely that your worlds that you play in this this next playtest won't work in future versions of the game because the world gen will be so different. It's not copying; it's taking inspiration. Yeah, I mean we're taking their ideas. They've talked about it. I mean, it's not taking their code; it's taking their philosophy on like how to build up a world step by step. And they've definitely got good ideas in there. I disagree with some of them. I agree with others. Yeah, and I want our worlds to feel very different to how Minecraft's look. You know, I don't want that. Yeah, I feel Minecraft worlds often have a certain feel with the way that yeah, the kind of like how the hills work and everything. I want it to look more closer to how it looks now, I'd say, but with the other changes. Oh, we need to do that. So it is player entities dot dispose and needs to wait for pickup. Okay, so we now have access to our player entity. And what does our player entity have on it? Player component types. Did yes. Let's do that. So this this wants to go. Not yet, but that is going to go soon. But we can use it for now. That should work, I think. Why is it erroring? Oh, little e. That should work. That should work. So here we should be able to go. Here we go. So then we should get. Oh, let's change this now. Because we want to get the player as well. So then we want to do entity manager dot get component object. I think that's right. I've done it elsewhere. Yeah, do it right there. And then this wants to be player control. Oh, we're not allowed to do this. We might not be allowed to do this. Let's see. Okay. This is going to take probably another 10 minutes, and then I'll do another round of questions. Right, so we need to find our systems. Let's see if it lets me do this. This has player control. Yeah, it does. Bollocks. I thought that might be the case. So what's happening here is I can't. Oh, that's annoying. The player controller knows about systems. That would create a circular dependency. Oh, did I change that? No, I didn't. So we can't look at that component directly. Means you probably. Oh, that's so irritating. That makes something that's really easy into something that's a pain in my ass. Maybe I can just link the inventory. Just link the inventory. Let's see if I can do that. No. No, it's because the player interacts with the systems. So the systems can't interact with the player without putting in some like halfway house. Oh dear. How do I halfway house this nicely? I forget. Is multiplayer on the roadmap? Yes. Yes. Maybe sooner rather than later. I haven't made my mind up yet. But multiplayer is obviously going to be a big part of this game. I'm designing everything with multiplayer in mind. We might start trying to make multiplayer work this year. We'll see. Oh. I just want to get... Do I have to use an interface for it? Can I set an interface as a component? I don't know. Let's see if I can. Oh. Yeah, Unity has some networking solutions built in. It has one designed for ECS and it has one designed for game objects. I haven't looked into it enough to see if that one will... I mean, what we might do is like the easy route to start with, which is like the Unity system. But the ultimate system is going to have to be custom, completely custom. Most of the stuff we do with PlanetSmith's custom anyway. Yeah, because it has to be... Yeah, there's lots of considerations. And we want it to be running as its own like dedicated server that anyone can host, preferably. How do I make this work for now? Okay, we'll do something I don't like. Just call it player connect. I don't like this. I'm gonna have to refactor this later. But good enough for now. It should really be like an interface thing. I'll do it that way later. Yeah, so the day-night cycle, it works kind of because the sun just goes around the planet. You can actually always stay in daytime if you want, if you follow the sun. It's kind of a fun mechanic. Definitely mobs spawning at night. Yeah, and not sure how it's going to interact with crops yet. Oh, I hate it when Unity does this. Could change its name like that. It's look at this. It's absolutely atrocious at the minute. Namespace CS dot layer length. Is that what I called it? I think so. Probably make this a player connect. This might become an interface, but it'll work like this for now. Is to get not that one. We need these. See if we need anything else. We probably will. Oh, we'll need ECS.data as well. And then this wants to be player. What's it called? What do I even call it? Oh, it's a block, isn't it? Oh, my brain isn't working. Dropped object component. There we go. Okay, and then this class will be able to do what I want it to do. It's so annoying. Can't do that, sorry. So then we have to link from here. What I'll do is I'll make an interface later that'll do this when I can work out how to pass the interface nicely. And that'll work. Might have to be an object and then we cast it. We'll see. You don't even want to play survival in the next play test. You already want to play around with building things. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the building part of the game's definitely got more to do at the minute, I think. But most people seem to want to play survival. It's the most requested by a mile. Makes sense though. Probably what, a tenth of Minecraft players play creative compared to survival. Yeah. This is a small amount of time to do deving. I'll often put 10+ hours straight into coding. It's the kind of thing I do. I've got better recently. I try and like manage my time better. Otherwise, you get it can really burn you out and tire you out if you go too crazy. I took a good break over the Christmas period. I took a good like 3 weeks off for a holiday, which was nice. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, I'm against the clock. That's the way that these things work. It has to come out at some time. It has to make money at some time. Otherwise, it just fades into nothingness. Yeah. But we've got plenty of time, so don't worry. Me saying that, we're still fine. We've got plenty of time to work on this, and we're all on track still. So everything's hunky dory. Give items to players. So we need to take the entity manager. Layer controller. Right. player. Yeah, we're not opening up alpha testing at the minute, just because it's not helpful to get feedback at the minute. That's why we're doing the playtests. So if you, yeah, the playtests are like the great time to get feedback. If we just leave it open all the time and we had like tons of people playing, we would get so much feedback, it would be overwhelming, and then we'd spend all of our time dealing with feedback rather than making the game. Yeah, well, our dev team's growing. Like this time last year, it was just me. But we've had Sean come on board, our artist now. We had another programmer, Sally, you may have seen, join Discord. And we have another Sean, our video editor, which means I'm not making videos quite so much. So our team is growing. So I need to do player controller dot give. We're not gonna worry. Yeah. Dropped. We're just gonna pretend it's always a block as well. Which might not be true later. Oh, apparently I need to reference that too. Worlds. Where's it called? So what is? Even though these aren't voxels, it's still refer to them as voxels or hexels. I think hexels is fine because it's kind of what it is. I know it's a 3D tile. Count and then out. We're just going to discard that now. Why aren't you happy? It has to be a byte, does it? Okay. So this should work now. Give to player. Oh. We can go entity manager. This is really dumb, but it's the way it's going to work just now. Where's the player? Oh, picked up. Player and then dropped. Okay. In theory, we should be good. This should pop back into the player's inventory now. Oh, it's still classed as cyclic, isn't it? Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. Okay, right as an interface. Fine. So irritating. I want this interface to sit. What interfaces are already on my player component? Do I already have access to this via interface? I might. I think I already solved this problem. I'm just forgetting. What interfaces are on here? Ooh. Character infantry. I could have just used that all along. might have to pass it as an object and cast it. We'll see, though. We'll see. Right, delete this nonsense that you were writing, Ken. Bye-bye. Here goes. Oh, don't tell me I can't reference that character either. What's that in? Oh no, that's inside characters. Okay, we can put it in here. This is gonna break half the game. Ugh. There's always the fun things when you get to more and more complex a game is working out where stuff should have been all along. Let's just put it in world. That'll do for now. Guard that for now. That's this to a pipe. Is that? Yeah, that works. Okay, that's happy. Is everything else happy? Probably not. Okay, so all that's left is, does this work? This is like, I never tried doing this. Oh no, sorry. Wrong thing as a character inventory. Cast type is redundant. Really? But it doesn't matter? Okay, if you say so. This has got a really low chance of working if it won't let me cast into it. I suppose casting to an interface makes no sense. It's still an object, isn't it? Object. It is the object, though. Yeah. Give it a test. Let's see. Okay, this is gonna be. If this works, I think we'll call it a day on this one, because that's gonna be awesome if it works. Right, we've got a grass block in our inventory. We are going to drop the grass block on the floor. Now, will it reappear in our inventory? Oh, oh, oh. No! I thought that would do it. I thought it wouldn't be happy with interfaces, but I can't reference it well without a cyclic reference. Suppose we can have a container. Oh god, this is getting really dirty now. I suppose that's the only way to do it though. Maybe not, yeah. Okay, right. Shout out to Paul out, so he probably knows the exact way to do this properly when you're wanting to avoid a cyclic assembly reference. But I am going to do it my way, which is probably not the best. So we need to store it as its own other object. I think this would work. Let's give it a test. So I think I can inside systems. Where is the one that I want? Yeah, here. My little jail folder. That's just a, yeah, it's like old stuff that I didn't want to quite delete, but I didn't want it to mess up with the game. Oh, I should have put it in there. What am I going to call this? I'm going to call this here. I'll give it its own folder because it's weird, and I might want to delete it. In fact, let's not write it in its own script. I hate it that much. Let's put the dirt where it belongs. Inside here. Because then if I put it in here, let's see if that works. Why did I do that? It should just be character infantry, like that. So then, if we use player link, will it work? I don't want to do that, so I a bit of thing. Should work? Maybe? Guess we'll find out. Guessing that's not good. I really want to finish this. Null reference exception. All components types must be known. Ooh, this must be something to do with interfaces. The what? Okay. What if I just... This is so painful. It's so close, but yet so far. Okay, what if... Yeah, what if... So it really doesn't like this. What if I cast it to an object? But it's saying it is an object. That's not going to be happy. Let's try. It's saying it's already storing it as an object. So can I just treat it like that? Take... I'm not confident for this. I think it's going to give me the same error. Everything has to be known. Here we go. Here's where we get the errors. Oh, no error yet. Ah! Compile time thing again. Oop. I might have to go away and think about this one. This is slightly trickier. She's happy with this one. So we can't have an interface. We can't have a class that contains an interface. Uh, we can't have... I just want to assign an object directly to it and then I can cast it later. I don't know why it must be known at compile time. Okay, I'm going to go away, have some lunch, and have a think about this one. So, is there any questions before I disappear? Thanks for watching our special 10K stream. I might do another devlogs here and there. I don't tend to do them that often because it's hard, especially when you've got other people in your team now. Yeah. But I do enjoy them, so I'll probably do another one at some point. Just don't expect them on a regular basis. What will be the extent of the magic in the game? I know there's more of an industrial or fantasy goal for the game, but will there be any magic, or maybe just magical materials? Yeah, I'd say we're leaning more towards like fantasy, science fiction, so fanciful materials and that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fine copy pasting your old questions. If I missed them, this is now the time to copy paste them, because I'm not going to read back through chat at the minute. So yeah, when I'm coding, I miss a lot of questions. It's just the way it is. But yeah, magical stuff. Nothing that's like outright magic. We're not going to have wands. We're not going to have spells, you know, but we will have stuff that is magic in the sense that it couldn't ever be real, but it still is trying to ground it a bit more in the sci-fi style. Okay, I think that might be the end. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm sure you'll see in the next devlog that this bit will be working. Also, what do you expect will be the next job your dev team needs? I'm not sure at the minute. Yeah, so we just want to grow as we grow as a game. That's kind of what we're trying to do. But yeah, that's good. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you in the